Hello again, Will, back with another episode of Week with Will. My apologies for the lateness. My schedule at the moment has been a bit hectic. I've had to deal with a few things outside sort of influences, so I will do my best to try and get things back onto a regular schedule of Monday and Thursday. I suppose part of this is also down to me trying to add new videos to the channel, including some of the reviews based shows, which have done the Acolyte and the fourth season of The Boys. Potentially looking at doing a spoiler-filled review of Deadpool and Wolverine, but I'm going to give people a bit of time to catch up and watch everything. 'Cause I know a few friends that haven't watched it and a few people haven't. So that's potentially something to look forward to later in the week, as well as the football shows as well, which should be going out tomorrow. I might be looking at sort of bringing in a guest, someone with slightly different opinions sort of to the football. So let me know what you think on that, but hopefully we'll get something sorted out. So I suppose let's just dive right into the week with Will, as it were. So this was my second week off from work, having had sort of a few friends over from a few different countries in the previous week. So this was essentially a week of a bit of calmness, sort of catching my breath, sort of composing myself and just having, I guess, me time in a sense, than the fact that there wasn't any major activities throughout the weekdays. It was just simply a case of having a bit more time laying in bed, doing the odd job around the house, doing the odd job in the garden. Nothing sort of strenuous or sort of difficult or anything to get me sort of stressed or worked up. It's just trying to balance my own headspace, as it were. However, what I can say is that the weekend did have some action. So for the weekend, we went over to Birmingham, to Edgbaston, primarily for the cricket, which would travelled on the Saturday with the idea of watching the third test of the third day against the West Indies. It's all very sort of poised, sort of very nicely, sort of before sort of heading into said game. But we'll get to that on the Sunday. So for the Saturday, sort of meeting up with a few friends and I suppose sorting out a bet which I made sort of quite a few months ago during the last sort of Premier League football season. I unfortunately backed Man United to finish above Aston Villa. I went with history. Obviously, it didn't happen. These things do happen, and so it was agreed upon that I would take on the foul curry. So anyone who's an expert on curries can tell you that this is one of the hottest around, not one to be taken lightly. Everyone else sort of enjoyed a nice curry dinner. I sort of stuck in with the hot of the hot, as it were, of which I can happily say I did complete it. For further details into it, if you can have a look into my TikTok, which I will mention in the description below. Yes, so the curry went very well. Tasted sort of very, very nice. No need for milk or water. I mean, you traditionally just have a curry with a beer with your friends. That's how I treated it. I didn't have to do any sort of serious, I suppose, man versus food style preparation for it. So can't really complain too much. Afterwards, I had my first sort of crack into some virtual reality, sort of the meta with the headset, sort of looking at cricket VR, which was really enjoyable, really fun. It was very sort of surreal. One thing I suppose I could say with it is that if you are doing an intense activity or a sport, as I was sort of with cricket, you can work up quite a bit of a sweat. So that's the only thing, and that's maybe down to my fitness more than anything else. But it was very, very enjoyable, and sort of maintaining the cricket themed weekend, to which we actually took to the cricket the next day. Sort of walking over, got in without any issues. Sort of soaked up the atmosphere with the game sort of finally poised, with the West Indies sort of going into their second innings on the batting front, of which there was some resistance sort of partway through the day, and then Mark Wood sort of managed to turn it on, as it were, to once you got sort of through the some of the middle order batsmen, everything had sort of started to sort of crumble, as it were, and made sort of light work of that. To which then England only needed sort of 70 to 80 runs, which saw Ben Stokes absolutely just turn it on with one of the sort of fastest 50s, well, definitely the fastest I've ever seen, and one of the fastest in edge batsman's history. I do believe it was. It's quite remarkable, really, to be honest. Sort of, it sort of proves anything sort of wrong. I'd say like a few years ago, it always had this stigma, particularly with Test cricket, that it might be long, it might be dull, it might be boring. I can assure you, watching England is not. Sort of going through Bazball, as it were, sort of the tactics to which England implement, it's essentially all guns ho, sort of in the bowling department, in the batting department. So you're guaranteed to see wickets, you're guaranteed to see runs, and one of the best things about the cricket is you're guaranteed a brilliant atmosphere as well, with some very colourful costumes, sort of going from pirates to traffic cones to princesses, all sorts of sort of a great fun, great day out, sort of with my friends, which is almost sort of a yearly tradition, as it were. And so sort of from that, we've come back. I've got to come back on that sort of Monday when I was originally sort of meant to release this video. Obviously, I had sort of another video planned for that Monday as well. And then obviously now we are going to be back to work, back to a different sort of schedule, where you might see some different scenery next week if you specifically only follow this aspect of the channel. But, thank you very much. I wanted to just give a quick shout and quick thanks to everyone that has followed and liked my TikTok. As mentioned previously, I will leave a link in the description below. Everyone can like, share, sort of subscribe to all aspects of it, post on social media. Obviously, we've got obviously here on YouTube. I'm over on TikTok now. They have a Twitch channel as well, which I believe I've mentioned in previous videos, to give you around the day's coverage of, well, me, I suppose. And that lighter note, as you can see, I am absolutely glistening in this heat. It very much feels that summer itself has started. So I figured for my happy song, I'm going to go for something for a summery theme. It's Summer Paradise by Simple Plan and Sean Paul. This was released sort of quite a few years ago now. Simple Plan is one of the many bands that I have managed to luckily see live. So very enjoyable, very fun, just very feel good in what is a very sort of feel good weather. Ideally, obviously, hope you're enjoying the weather and not sort of having to work too hard in it. But thank you very much. I'll see you all later. Bye for now.